Oh, hello guys, welcome back. I'm done repressing my feelings. I am so pissed off. Not only is YouTube making my job incredibly hard because I go to publish a video and it's private and I have to try 6 or 7 times to publish it, but people are starting to ask me questions that I know they didn't watch the damn video, and nothing pisses me off faster than people that don't pay attention. That's why I was such a great tutor. Anyhow, that's out of the way. I'm done being angry and wanting to kill people. No, I'm not. I always angry and want to kill people. I want to make a video, and I thought it might be timely for you. And I know where a lot of my anger comes from. Decorating for the holidays brought this up. I had a father that should have never had children. He should have never had children. He came from a highly abusive family. And it wasn't that he came from a highly abusive family, but he had already been broken into the part where his highly abusive family could treat him like shit the rest of his life. And they treated my mother like shit, too. And you guys know I don't mince words. I don't have time to. And he let them treat them both like shit. And he let them treat his children like shit. And he only had children because his family expected children. Because Italian family, you have to pop out babies whether you're good parent material or not. Worst parent material on the planet. Abusive as hell. Prone to angry outrages. I'd be outraged too if my family was still treating me like shit. I got rid of him. He never did. So, he was always angry, always abusive, always whacking us kids around. But when the holidays came, weirdly, we got gifts. We knew our father actually hated us. Our father hated us. He did. He hated us. And he resented every mouthful of food, every bit of clothes, everything we got, because we didn't need anything. We should be without. And my mother was the one that had to go and get a second job. Well, not a second job. She had to go get an Avon job. And she had to be very persistent. I'm surprised she was persistent because he was an abusive bully. But she persisted and she got her way, and she would walk all over town because he wasn't going to give her a car for this. She would walk all over town and she would sell Avon. So, the holidays would come and there would be gifts and there would be stuff. But you also felt all that hate in the house. You felt the hatred of your father for you, and you felt, beatings were coming for somebody, usually my brother because he was older. But beatings were coming for somebody and abuse was coming because the whole abusive family was going to get involved too. And I couldn't figure out, why do I get so depressed over the holidays? That's why, because you remember both the good and the bad. I'm remembering the good part. Remembering all the nice stuff we had. I'm remembering, flowers and food and trees and presents. But I wasn't remembering all the bad stuff that went with it. That was so bad, I used to wish that Christmas didn't exist. That there just was no Christmas. That we didn't get time off from school. Santa Claus didn't exist. And there just was no Christmas. I really, as a child, I was one of the few children on the planet that didn't want Christmas to exist. Because my family made it a living hell. And I figured that out today. Because I had been praying. I said, I'm getting that seasonal depression again. And I said, I don't know why the hell I get this. Because I was a happy child until my family ruined me. And I said, I don't know why I get this. I don't know why I get this. Because I remember being happy about a lot of stuff during the holidays. But I'm like, why the hell am I so sad? And I didn't get a voice. Angel didn't come down from heaven a spotlight. Loki didn't pull up on a Harley. Nobody answered me, with words, but these videos came up and they talked about, by the time you're 5 or 6, how your family treats you has a lot to do with, like, if you think you're worthy, if you think you're enough, and a lot of other stuff too. And I thought, I don't know if I ever had depression, even though I was diagnosed. I think I was horrifically abused and just never got to talk to people because we had those special kind of abusers who, one, it was kind of normalized abuse in the 80s. Your family could treat you however they want. And two, they weren't the worst abusers in the family, so they were the good guys. And three, you just didn't talk about it. Nobody wanted to talk about it. It's still, to my family, while they're not my family, thank the gods, I thank you, God, that they are not blood. So I dumped their ass by the curb. They don't want to talk about it. And you have to. You have to talk about it. You have to talk about how that is not normal. My father had such a bad temper. We laughed because you learn to laugh at grim stuff. He would try to kill animals with whatever the hell he could get his hands on. He had that bad a temper. He would beat my brother and I with parts of the Christmas tree. I'm laughing now, but you learn to laugh when you're in abusive, that kind of abuse constantly. You learn to see the humor in it because it's kind of survival skill. When I was about 10, maybe 11 or 12, a doctor saw I and saw my mother at the same time. He was treating me, but he looked at my mother and he looked at me. He says, I don't know what's wrong with you, but I've treated a lot of soldiers, and I can tell you, you have the same thing soldiers get from being in a war zone. What the hell happened to you? It was trying to help, but remember how lovely and charming my father was. We children were truly afraid that had we ran away from home, we would have been hunted down and literally killed. We were really, literally afraid of that. And since my father had such a split personality, he could be that abusive rat bastard, and then he could be your best buddy. And the best buddy part, I swear he had two distinct personalities, didn't know why the hell you were so afraid of him. I would be in college, guys. I would be in classes, and the teacher would go like this on my shoulder to talk. I would jump in the fucking chair. And I told the teacher, I said, we were just horrifically abused. I said, I'm trying to train myself out of it, trying to train myself to like contact. But I said, usually in my family, if you got touched, that was because a parent was laying a hand on you to beat the living tar out of you. My mom, God's bless her, she did the best she could to become the loving parent, to become the good parent. So she tried really hard. She had a lot on her plate. She had the abusive shit family of my father. She had an abusive shit mom herself. She had a lot of demons to fight, but, she did her best she could to provide us with a loving home, but she had her issues as well. So, that stuff comes up during the holidays, and you remember it. Whether you remember it on a conscious level or not, you remember it, but it doesn't have to ruin your holidays forever. I felt this really sad presence in the house. We're getting somewhere. This was kind of the answer to my prayer too. Not only the videos, but feeling this really sad presence. It felt like a house spirit, and it felt like it was sad, and it felt like there was never enough. And I went in and I talked to it, and I said, that's never happening again. I said, the people who abused me are dead. They're not coming back. I said, the family that was abusive and caused all the trouble, they're not coming back. I said, if they try to ruin our holidays, if they get up to shit and try to ruin our holidays, we're not letting them. I'm a grown-ass adult. I don't have to spend time with people that are literally not related to me. I said, it's okay. I said, we don't need 9 million presents, because that's what my family did. That was the coping mechanism a lot of abusers use. They know it's wrong to abuse you. They know on a fundamental level they shouldn't be beating the shit out of their kids or yelling at them or abusing them or hating them. So what do? Then they overcompromise. So my dad had this really damn strange thing of, you knew he hated you, and he hated everything he gave you for Christmas, yet you got a shit ton of it because they were compensating. It was really, really weird. So you didn't know if you were loved or hated, or these things were supposed to be yours, or you weren't worthy of them. It was really surreal. And I said, I don't have to make up for that part of my life with 80 presents and a 20-pound turkey and bags of chestnuts and a Dixonian Christmas with, all this stuff all over my house. I said, it feels nice to decorate. I said, but I will be just as happy with completes, because it'll take half hour in the oven. Done. No dishes to do. And I talked to this house spirit, because I felt it usually seems to come around the holidays. And I said, it's okay. I said, it's not your fault you couldn't protect us as children. I said, I had a very fractured home. I said, my parents should have never been parents, because my mother couldn't stand up to my father. And my mother had come from an abusive home. And my father came from an abusive home. And you don't take two abusive people who never got therapy and throw them together and expect them to magically heal through the power of Hallmark and live happily ever after. That did not happen. And the thing that happened was my mom tried to stay nice and kind, because a lot of times abuse victims are like the nicest people on the planet, because you kind of learn to be. But my father, something happened in the military and he went crazy. So while I have sympathy for the way they got the way they are, that still doesn't excuse the abuse. But I'm like, you know what? It's over now. So I don't know why that felt timely, but that can come up during the holidays. And I feel Loki just standing back here with his arms crossed, just kind of looking. But, that can happen. We can come through really bad times. We can come through really bad childhoods. It is not a contest, by the way, guys. I hate it when you tell people something that happened in your life and, oh, they had it 5 times worse. Or, oh, you're so damaged. No, you're not damaged. You went through bad stuff. You can go to therapy. You can get help. And I definitely, maybe because I was rebelling against my parents because they would never accept help, I definitely believe in finding the help you need. But we do get our prayers answered. And that wasn't the funnest way to have that answered, to have all those memories pop up. But it also was very healing too, because I'm like, this is why I hated the holidays so much. I forgot. I totally repressed all this stuff because I'd read all this stuff written by people that had normal childhoods. And they say, after a while, you only remember the good. Well, I was trying to repress the bad in order to only remember the good, and couldn't figure out what was the matter with my memory. Well, because the bad and the good were so interwoven, you either remember it all or you only remember like bits and pieces. So much therapy, so much fun. But I'm okay, guys. It didn't upset me. It wasn't the funnest thing to remember, but it explains a lot. It explains why I get depressed. It explains why this house actually physically feels depressed during the holidays. And I'm like, it's okay. Let it go. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't the fault of any god or goddess. It wasn't Loki's fault. It wasn't Jehovah's fault. It wasn't Jesus' fault. It wasn't fault of some kind of star fairy angel. I said they really shouldn't have had children. But they had children, and that was the cards I was dealt, and I said it wasn't fair, and it wasn't fun, but, I'm through it. And that's the thing to remember. And it doesn't have to damage you and break you forever. You can eventually, overcome and reach a new normal, but it explains a lot. I'd like to try to pass it off as saying I inherited my dad's bad temper, but I think I just have that trigger because it was a learned behavior. If daddy got mad and angry over absolutely nothing, I better get angry and mad over absolutely nothing because that's normal, right? If mommy would cry every time she didn't get her way, I better cry every time I don't get my way. I'm getting a little extreme, but you guys know what I mean. They did both. Actually, it wasn't my mom that pulled that. My grandmother would pull it. She would cry every time she can get her way. If there's ever a purge night, I'm just saying. Actually, all these people are dead now. If there's ever a purge night, I guess I don't know. I'll sit home with Netflix and chill or something. I don't know. I get a thumbs up back here. But yeah, guys, I thought that would be timely for someone. So, this doesn't substitute therapy. This doesn't substitute finding the help. But, do whatever you can right now to make yourself feel better. Whatever you know it is, as long as it's not self-harming, do whatever will make you feel better and, pray to Loki and work with Loki. I get so pissed off when people want it to be an instant healing. I'm in my 40s. I didn't get no damn instant. It takes time. It takes time. It doesn't work with like Hallmark. I think that's why Hallmark kind of pisses me off, because Hallmark kind of implies that if you didn't get that instant healing, if everything in your life isn't wonderful, it's all your fault or something. I don't know. I get kind of pissed off and stop paying attention halfway through those films. So, okay. If you guys need help, please get it. The holidays can bring up a lot of that stuff. But it's good and it's healthy to remember it and to, then finally be able to let it go. You don't have to carry it around forever. I think it's the actual point of the video. You don't have to carry it around forever. And that was the answer to my prayers. But sometimes you're going to have to pray that prayer a long time, because I've prayed for years and years and years. And I've been like, I don't want to be depressed this holiday season. Why am I so depressed during the holiday season? Why do I dread Christmas? Why do I love all this stuff, and then I'm like, so that's why. And now that I know that, I can proceed accordingly. And I know that's probably why I also never had my own family, because I was like, history will just repeat itself. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. I hope it wasn't too much of a downer. I'm actually really relieved to have remembered all that, because once you remember it, you can finally start to let it go. You can be like, out. So, I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.